Hey everybody, it's Landon Kissinger. This is H2No, Water Usage Tracking by Ruth Manthe and myself. So the history of C#, it's a simple modern general purpose object-oriented programming language developed by Microsoft within the .NET initiative. It was approved by the ECMA and ISO, designed for the CLI, which is the Common Language Infrastructure. Its development team is led by Anders Heilsberg, and the most recent version is C 6.0, which was released July 20th of last year. So some main features, it's a multi-paradigm structured language. It's event and task-driven, functional and reflective. It's strongly typed, imperative, declarative, functional, and generic. And it's class-based, so object-oriented, as I said, similar to Java, and component-oriented programming disciplines.
So C# supports most of the main constructs that you're used to from other programming languages. The most obvious of these would be that it supports types of both value and reference types, including constants. It also supports conditional statements, switch statements, all types of loops, and jump statements. So H2No is the name of the app that we developed, and it is a personal water tracking app so that you can keep track of how much water you use on a day-to-day basis in both all of your activities that involve water and within individual activities. You can see which activities use the most water. You can view the trends and changes in the amounts of water that you use regularly, and you can compare your personal water usage to the statistical average as tracked by the application.
So I will demo it for you now, show you guys how we built it. So again, as I said, for Windows users, you can just use a built-in Microsoft IDE called Visual Studio. I have 2015 because I have Windows 10. So we'll open it up. Visual Studio is pretty sweet. I'm not going to remake it for you guys. We already built it, so I'm just going to open the project solution. It remembers where you are. Visual Studio has its own project, so just go into H2No. And then it's a Windows Form application. That's just a type of application. You can make other kinds. We just thought Windows Form would work best. So when you open it up, this is actually our welcome page. There's actually two kinds of files. There's the wateruse.cs or welcome.cs, and then there's the design pages. The design pages are what you see here, which is, and then you have the source code, which is the welcome. So you can use both. If I want to see the designer for a source code, I can just go over to the Solutions Explorer, right click, it'll show, you can go down, click View Designer, and it will bring up that design. Design's really cool, it's super user friendly. You can use what they call the toolbox, drag and drop things over onto the frame, and all of these things have built-in declaration statements for that certain tool, and then it will add that declaration statement to your source code, and then you can add the functionality later. So for the welcome page, we had the title, we did all that. So if you want to start it, just click Start. We made a login page. It doesn't have any securities or functionality right now, so you can type in whatever you want. And then you can just log in. You don't even need a password. And it takes you to our welcome page. We made the title, have some relevant information with some links that we added. So now if you go to the page, our first page is the Add Water Use page. Essentially, you can select a different action that'll have a different duration in the units, and then it'll add that number to a database that you'll later be able to compare, which is on one of our other pages. So if you go to My Water, this is that page I was talking about. You can view your water usage based upon what you've added over time. And then our end goal was to have a compare me, where you use that last graph that you guys just saw, add it to this water usage comparison, which will take the statistical averages and compare them out. So yeah, that's H2No. That's how we built it using Visual Studio. Super easy, super user-friendly. So now we'll get to Ruth, and she'll talk to you guys about the design of the H2No.
So we designed this app using Visual Studio 2015. It's a Microsoft IDE. It's very user-friendly interface for the GUI implementation, as you saw. And then the source code is also pretty user-friendly. it creates a lot of it automatically for you so that you don't have to worry about silly syntax errors and things like that. But you are also able to modify it as much as you want or need to. The toolbox also made it really easy to build our app because it incorporates all of these things like links and buttons and transitions from one screen to another, and they're built into the IDE, which made it very easy for us to include these as we built our app.
So, in summary, using C#, it was pretty awesome, I have to say. It was a brainchild of both C and Java languages, mostly Java. It was a quick and easy setup on this machine especially. Operating system specific, as I said, this was Visual Studio, so if you have a Mac, you'd have to use something different. It's highly writable and readable, specifically because of that GUI usage where it will automatically create those declaration statements and you don't have to worry about your syntax there. And it was also really helpful because you can see exactly what your code is doing, or you can do what you want first and then write the code in. So both of those things, having that duo relationship was really nice. The reliability is a little bit untested because we didn't get to do all the functionality, but all in all, using that GUI and the libraries that it was supported made it so that it was pretty easy. So yeah, thank you.